Alrighty, let me move this keyboard out of the way and we'll get started. Send out a couple links. I'm hearing notifications go off on the other side of the house. We're close. Welcome, welcome. Okie dokie. We'll start with the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Ooh, rares are in the front. We'll switch that up. Airbender reversal. Oh, can't see. Hold on. Now I can see. Nice. Oh. A keen eye would have spotted the rare. Airbender's reversal for 2 mana. We have an instant. Destroy target attacking creature or airbend target creature you control. Wolfbat for 3 mana. It's a 2/2 with flying, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, you may pay a swamp. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Hermetic Herbalist for 2 mana. It's a 2/3. It's a human druid ally, and you can add 1 mana of any color or add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast lesson spells. That's a good one. 1 mana of any color. And she can survive a 1/1. Solstice Revelations for 3 mana. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an online card from. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than the number of mountains you control. If you don't cast the card this way, put it into your hand and it has flashback 7. So whenever you flashback it, you're gonna have enough to cast something. So this one's not a bad spell for its flashback, for sure. Hold on. There we go. What's up, JJ? You didn't get notifications? Well, you gotta turn them on. And hold on, I need to do something about these comments. I can't see them. They're too tiny. What the hell? They got smaller. No, I wasn't frozen. I was on the phone. Well, even if you have them turned on YouTube, you probably have them turned off on your Samsung notifications. Solstice Revelations. For 3 mana, we already went over this one. Yip. For 1 mana, it's an instant lesson. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If that creature is an ally, it also gains flying until end of turn. You better throw in an extra yip. We gotta move, Sokka says. Cat Owl. For 4 mana, it's a 3/3 flying cat bird, and whenever this creature attacks, untap target artifact or creature. Rabaroo Troop. For 5 mana, it's a 3/5 rabbit kangaroo with landfall, and whenever a land you control enters, this creature gains flying until end of turn, and you gain 1 life, and it has plane cycling too. Hog Monkey. For 3 mana, it's a 3/2, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control with a +1 counter on it gains menace until end of turn, and it has exhaust with an ability for 5. Put 2 +1 counters on this creature. We have Firebending Lesson. For 1 mana, it's an instant and kicker 4. So for 5 mana, he deals 5 damage, or for 1 mana, he deals 2 damage. Firebending is not something to fear, but if you don't respect it, it'll chew you up and spit you out. Zuko. Barrels of Blasting Jelly. For 1 mana, you can pay 1 to add 1 mana of any color and activate only once each turn, or you can pay 5 and tap it to sacrifice this artifact, and it deals 5 damage to target creature. So it's not really a mana rock, it's a mana filter. Rocky Rebuke. For 2 mana, it's an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So that is way better than fighting, because your creature doesn't take any damage. And we're gonna get to our foil. Meditation Pools. It enters tapped, but it taps for a forest or an island, and you can pay 4 to sacrifice this land to draw a card. As you see, there are several pools where the water swirls around before flowing on. These pools are like our chakras. Guru Patnik. Another foil, Combustion Technique. For 2 mana, it's an instant. Combustion Technique deals damage equal to 2 plus the number of lesson cards in your graveyard to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So if you don't have any lessons, it's doing 2 at least. Not prettier than you. And our foil, collector code 0276. It's a land. Aang delved deep into the spiraling depths in search of where Ka called home. Realm of Ka. I don't know how to say that. This land enters tapped. Unless you control a basic land, it taps for a swamp, and you can pay 4 to create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token, and this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. So it makes it can't block or be blocked. Create a 1/1 unblockable creature. Alrighty. We're moving on to our Zendikar Rising. Man, I need some sort of tool for this. I'm gonna get it, don't worry. There we go, I got it. Yeah, it's they did a really good job. Is the music too loud? And is the microphone okay? I got it set up a different way, so I'm thinking it might be a little better. Let me turn it down some. Let me turn it down just a little more. I have to turn down my voice a little bit because it keeps hold on. Not and yes. Yes, it doesn't sound good. And now you can't hear me. Spikefield Hazard for 1 mana. It's an instant. Spikefield Hazard deals 1 damage to any target. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. That's pretty cool. And then the other side, it taps for a red, it enters tapped. Thwart the Grave for 6 mana. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party, and return target creature card and up to 1 target cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This one's a good card. Have y'all seen that new Esper party commander? I'll pull it out in a little bit. It's unopened, it's in a box, but there's a new Esper commander from Final Fantasy that was released in the holiday scene boxes. It says at the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +1/+0. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control for a full party, creatures you control get +3/+0 instead. So all those creatures that say this, it's not changeling, but there's creatures that say this creature counts as a rogue, cleric, wizard, and warrior, or whatever it is. Oh, cleric, rogue, warrior, and a wizard. Yeah, I said it. I think some of those cards might go up. So I'm gonna buy 1 or 2 of them. There's not a lot. There's like 4 or 5, and I think we have a couple. Return target creature card and up to 1 target cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Before we close out this video, please remind me to pull out that card so I can show it to y'all, or at least I'll pull it up online. Fearless Fledgling for 2 mana. It's a 1/1 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on Fearless Fledgling. It gains flying until end of turn. Griffins nest in precarious places, so fledglings often find themselves taking their first flights at surprising moments. So it's very surprising whenever they first fly because they're scared. Anti-Cognition for 2 mana. It's an instant. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, instead counter that spell. Then scry 2. That's a JJ card. I think not. Fleck on the Mind Sensor. Is the Mind Sensor a card? And I've never heard of Fleck on, but ooh. Look at the glass. It's like a mirror that's been broken into pieces. Oblivion's Hunger for 2 mana. It's an instant. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card if that creature has a +1 counter on it. Indulge the Void. Become the Void. Consume all you touch. Draina, the Last Blood Chief. This would be a nice card in foil. This is a totally playable card. Our play group does not run a lot of interaction like this. Think about that, JJ. Subtle Strike for 2 mana. Choose one or both. Target creature gets -1 until end of turn, or put a +1 counter on target creature. Silence is an underrated hunting strategy. Dauntless Survivor for 2 mana. It's a 1/1, and whenever Dauntless Survivor enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature. I've got a little surprise for you, beasties. Come and get it. He's finna stab somebody. Skyclave Sentinel for 3 mana. That is pretty good. You're talking about Oblivion's Hunger. Target creature you control gains indestructible for 2 mana. It's not a counter spell, but it's gonna protect your commander. That's almost like commander tax. You know, you can pay your commander tax ahead of time with this spell. That's all you're doing. Skyclave Sentinel for 3 mana. Kicker 4. If Skyclave Sentinel is kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1 counters on it. And as long as Skyclave Sentinel has a +1 counter on it, it can attack as though it did not have Defender. It's a gargle. Angel Heart Protector for 3 mana. It's a 3/2, and whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Man, it doesn't have flash. I'm gonna say it. Don't worry, I'm gonna stop repeating myself because we only have a couple more Zendikar Rising packs. Once we get through these Zendikar Rising packs, we're gonna start going through the rest of this Avatar The Last Airbender box that I have, if I don't miss anything up, over here off to the side, right? And then after that, we'll open up some Final Fantasy. This one, we're gonna do. I have to build up the anticipation somehow, so you all keep coming back. We're gonna open 1 Final Fantasy booster a day, and we're not gonna reveal the Chocobo Footprint cards until we get through those 10 packs. So that one's gonna be a long time coming. And think about it, we got what, like 14 more days till Christmas? We don't have long. Christmas is coming. I like cards that have art where the mind is being broken. LOL. Honestly, I have cards in my mill deck just because of the art. I had cards in my Chulane deck just because they had man, I forgot his name. It had Thrun on it. I had the Staff of Thrun or Thrun. I had Asceticism with flavor text from Thrun or Thrun, whatever his name is. I don't know why I like those. I just like those cards because all the flavor. None of those cards had anything to do with each other, but he was in the art or he was in the flavor text. But Angel Heart Protector for 3 mana. It does not have flash. It gives something indestructible when it enters. Adventure Awaits for 2 mana. Sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't put a card into your hand this way, draw a card. So for 2 mana, you get to dig through the top 5 cards of your library and put a creature into your hand or draw a card. So for 2 mana, you get to go fishing. Mind Unbound, Mind Break Trap. No wonder y'all be losing. Chill, babe. JJ already said he doesn't like winning. He says he's here for a nice Christian game of Magic. I'm gonna get this to focus, don't worry. There we go. That's better. Expedition Diviner for 4 mana. It's a 3/2 merfolk wizard with flying. As long as you control another wizard, Expedition Diviner has, when this creature dies, draw a card. Wizard spells twist the fabric of reality to channel elemental energies, peer into the future, and even calm the royal. So I can help you understand. You watched a video where the deck is your mind. It's because, think about it this way. We call it a library, right? So you learn from whenever you draw cards, you learn something because you're a planeswalker or a wizard and you're casting spells, but you only know so much. You only know what's in your hand. So whenever you draw a card, that's like tapping into your mind or learning a lesson and learning new spells that you can cast and use to your advantage. So that's how your library is your mind, and that's why we call it a library. Fissure Wizard for 2 mana. It's a 2/1 Goblin Wizard, and whenever Fissure Wizard enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Discard a card if you do draw a card. That's pretty good. Oh, it's a cape. I was like, how many hands does he have? But it's his cape. Ooh, Canopy Ballast. It's a 4/3. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. He's a beast, but he does not have trample. We have our token. It's a copy token. It's Jace. Man, this is a sick token. Too bad it's not foil. That's a sick token. Oh, what's up, Mike? Hence card names like Brainstorm and Compulsive Reach. Yep. I'm there for quality time and to beat Maria or at least not let her win. There you go. I think I think that's the name of the game for all of us. Except I almost sometimes am the opposite. I want to psych her out. I want to let her draw everything. I want to give her the advantage because it's funny watching the panic set in. Our rare is a 3/3. It's a red and green creature. No angel bars our ascent. Amaria awaits above. Akiri, Fearless Voyager. For 3 mana, legendary creature, core warrior. It's a 3/3, and whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. You may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. I can do that. You may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible. Oh, so this will go good in Captain America. That's a damn good card for the Cap. But let me go ahead and pull those. You know it breaks. Yeah, I know. JJ, you know how to mess her up. What's that card? Michael plays it a lot, where you reveal. You look at the top 5 cards of your you look at the top 5 cards of your library, and you give them to an opponent, and they separate them into 2 piles. When you do that to Maria, she doesn't know what to do. She does not know what to do with those 2 piles. But let me move back here real quick. Wait a minute. There we go. I'm back. Let's see if it will focus just a little bit. Hold on. I need to new camera. I don't know what I'm doing. I got this. I pulled it out of my butt. Where do you keep your cards at? So the Destined Warrior for 4 mana. I'm looking at the card in the middle. It has First Strike, Vigilance, and Menace. Cleric, Rogue, Warriors, and Wizard spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. If you have a full party, creatures you control get +3/+0 until end of turn instead. They had these at Fry's. They were $40. Yoink. Let's see here. They still have them. They're at Fry's. They still got them. Well, yeah, you can dig in them. You can dig over there off of 610 and Fry's. Oh, it says sold out. My bad. Right here, sold out. Womp womp. Sold out. Let's find this article that was released just the other day. These are the chocobos. Products. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Magic the Gathering, Final Fantasy. Here we go. Scene boxes. It's not letting me click it. I read the article the other day. We'll try Google. Bet. Wow. Oh, did it die? I guess we can look at them one at a time. What the? It's not gonna show the cards. All right. Here we go. Let me know if it's too zoomed in. So this article is just going over what is a scene card. We already know what scene cards are. But here is the complete list and gallery of the Final Fantasy scene cards. I'll give y'all some time, or I'll just read through them. So we have Noctis Heir Apparent. It's an Esper. It's a legendary creature, human, noble, 2/3, and whenever a creature you control enters during combat, you may attach target equipment you control to target creature you control. And then you can exile Noctis, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, tapped and attacking. At the beginning of that player's next declare attacker step, it can't be blocked this combat. So he goes in and out of the battlefield whenever you activate it. It's a scene. Unfortunately, this scene. So 3 colors. If you have a commander and it's 4 colors, there's only a few commanders that are 4 colors. Unfortunately, this campsite cuisine could not go in this deck, but it's part of his scene. So I always think it's weird whenever they put these scene cards in the box that can't be played if you make this Noctis Heir Apparent a commander. Yeah, fishing gear. Yeah, fishing gear is real good. Whenever an equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield under your control. If you don't, you create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. That card's great because it's like a theft. If you get to take your opponent's stuff, especially if you put it on a creature with double strike, it will trigger twice because it says whenever equipped creature deals combat damage. We have Chocobo Camp. It's green. That one cannot go in Noctis Heir Apparent either. It's a land, and this land enters tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Add a forest, and whenever you next cast a bird creature spell this turn, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Was that the one you were talking about the other day, Mike, when you said you were gonna make the bird deck? I didn't understand you, and then I got busy. And as you can see, I'm still busy right now. Flash Photography. So this one's dope. For 4 mana, you may cast the spell as though it had flash if it targets a permanent you control. So it has flash. Create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So for 4 mana, you can make pretty much anything. But creating a token is always pretty cool. It's redundancy. I have to take an equipment out. Yeah, you can't. Well, don't worry about it because these ones are mine. Campsite Cuisine for 2 mana. Whenever this enchantment or a legendary creature you control enters, create a food token. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice X foods, and when you do, up to X target attacking creatures each get +3/+3 and gain trample and indestructible until end of turn. That's pretty good. Warrior's Resolve for 3 mana. Creatures you control have training. Whenever a creature you control attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1 counter on the creature with lesser power. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with a +1 counter on it, that attacked this turn, you draw a card. So this one's pretty cool. If you have a lot of tokens, or if you're running an attack heavy deck, a deck that wins by attacking, every other turn a creature is going to get stronger. They're just going to keep boosting each other up. They're teaching each other. Too bad Wolverine didn't have white in his color identity, because this card would go well with Wolverine. I mean, he gets stronger. That's what Wolverine does. Well, I guess he gets more defense, but it's whatever. Yeah, take a land out. Dang, these bad boys went up to $60. The next set is Children of Fate. Adia the Possessed Sorceress. For Grixis and 2. It's a human warlock, a 2/5 human warlock with Ward 2, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, gain control of target creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control but don't own dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, and you can draw a card. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, gain control of a creature an opponent controls until end of turn, and untap it, and it gains haste. So I haven't found a good Osborne. My Norman Osborne deck is Grixis. It's not too powerful. I'm looking for a powerful Grixis commander, somebody that I can abuse, but I haven't found one. Osborne's pretty fun, but he only wins if I cast the Mysterio and I make a bunch of Mysterio tokens. Fated Clash. Oh, I think this one's probably the most expensive one, 76. So, Fated Clash is a sorcery. You may cast this spell as though it had flash if a creature is attacking and a creature is blocking. Target creature you control and target creature an opponent controls each gain indestructible until end of turn. Then destroy all creatures. I'll show you who is the better man. Cypher Almasi. So this one's pretty cool. You may cast this spell as though it had flash if a creature is attacking and a creature is blocking. So if 2 creatures are basically in combat, you can cast this spell and everything else dies and they both survive. This one's pretty cool. Renoa Angel Wing. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control with flying get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Whenever 1 or more attacking creatures you control die, you may return one of them to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with the flying counter on it, and do this only once each turn. So it's a repeatable ability. Whenever 1 or more attacking creatures you control die, you may return one of them to the battlefield tapped. So that one's pretty good. Zephyr the Balam Rival for 4 mana. He's 4/3 first strike, and whenever you attack a player, go target creature that player controls. And whenever a creature attacking one of your opponents becomes blocked by 2 or more creatures, that attacking creature gains death touch until end of turn. So this one's also pretty cool. Whenever you attack a player, go to creature, so it can attack you. And whenever a creature attacking one of your opponents becomes blocked by 2 or more creatures, that attacking creature gains death touch until end of turn. Dang, these batteries are just dying left and right. Alrighty. Duelist Flame for X and 2 red until end of turn. Target blocked creature you control gets plus X plus 0 and gains trample. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library, exile up to 1 non-land card from among them, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order, and you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So this one would be good in Aragorn, this one would be good in Calimax, this one would be good in Wolverine. Duelist Flame is going to be good in any deck that's trying to win by commander damage. Duelist Flame is pretty strong. Until end of turn, target blocked creature you control gets plus X and gains trample. So your creature has to be being blocked. Squall Gunblade Duelist for 3 mana and first strike. As Squall enters, choose a number. Whenever one or more creatures attack one of your opponents, if any of those creatures have power or toughness equal to the chosen number, Squall deals damage equal to its power to defending player. So if you're trying to get through, I mean, if you're making a bunch of 1/1s and you know you're going wide instead of big, just go on ahead and name one. Whenever one or more creatures attack your opponents, if any of those creatures have power or toughness equal to the chosen number, he deals damage equal to its power. Alright, man, be safe. Be safe always. And we'll go over this last one, and I'll save the other one for tomorrow because this article is pretty long. This is the one that I want to make into a commander, by the way. Garland at the Chaos Shrine. The Destined Warrior. It's Esper. We have another Esper card. She's a human warrior. 3/3 with first strike, vigilance, and menace. Cleric, rogue, warriors, and wizard spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. At the beginning of combat on your turn, creatures you control get +1 until end of turn. If you have a full party, creatures you control get +3/+0 until end of turn instead. So she's coming through. I'm pumping her up. She has first strike. You're gonna be scared to block anyways. And I'm casting a bunch of cheap clerics, rogues, or warriors. And then whenever Garland enters, target opponent becomes the monarch for 4 mana. He's a 3/4, and whenever an opponent becomes the monarch, gain control of target creature that player controls for as long as they are the monarch. Creatures you control but don't own get +2/+2 and can't be sacrificed. So Garland Royal Kidnapper actually goes better up here with the man, where's the other one at? It was the Marduk. Her. Right, they share a color identity. At the beginning of combat on your turn, gain control of creature. If you don't, when it dies, blah blah blah. You know, so this one actually goes up there with that one. The Destined White Mage for 3 mana. Legendary creature, human cleric. It's a 2/3 with lifelink, and another target creature you control gains lifelink until end of turn by paying a white. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If you have a full party, put 3/+1 counters on that creature instead. Ooh, the AC kicked on and it's running up that mic. Chaos Shrine Black Crystal. It's a legendary artifact. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, exile it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a creature card exiled with Chaos Shrine's Black Crystal onto the battlefield under your control with the finality counter. Then we have the Destined Thief for 3 mana. The Destined Thief can't be blocked. Another target creature you control can't be blocked this turn by paying 1. And whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to 1 or more players, draw a card, then discard a card. If you have a full party, instead draw 3 cards. And then we have the Destined Black Mage for 2 and a black. He's a 3/2 Death Touch. Another target creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, the Destined Black Mage deals 1 damage to each opponent. If you have a full party, it deals 3 damage to each opponent instead. So that is the scene boxes. We have another one that we'll go over tomorrow, and that's it. These are the ones from Lord of the Rings, but this article features all of them. Questions or comments? Alrighty, we'll cut it out.